Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I am so excited to do because it is not only day one of Vlogmas, here we are, we have made it. We've made it to December. Today's video is also going to be a collab, and this is a collab video that I have done every single year in Vlogmas, collabing with my friend Angelica Nyqvist, and we are doing the new makeup releases tag video. I don't know what year this is that we are doing. Maybe this is like our third year in a row that we are doing this tag video, but I am so excited to be collabing with Angie and answering questions on new makeup releases that we've had all throughout the year of 2022. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, before we get started, I do start with an outfit of the day. My little office is very jam-packed right now since I own a small business, and this is around Black Friday, Cyber Monday time, so we have a lot going on right here. Just some black pants, and then I just got this top here from Amazon, and it's supposed to be like a Skims dupe top, and it's very comfortable. I really like this little tank top here. So I always link everything down in my description box, my makeup, any of the clothes that I can link, that is always down there. But like I said, today's video is also a collab with my friend Angie, so I will definitely have her video and her channel linked down below. I'm sure you've already heard about her. Hopefully if you are been around my channel for a while, you've seen her a time or two in my videos. But I'm so excited to collab with Angie because like I said, we've been doing this video, this tag video together for a few years. And really, I feel like the new makeup releases, the Will I Buy It videos, is what kind of kindled the friendship between me and Angie. And this was back when I was living in Iowa, she was living in Sweden. And I always tell the story of remembering getting a comment saying, some girl from Sweden is doing your Will I Buy It video. And I was like, that's so cool. Like, someone likes my small idea of talking about new makeup releases and what I think about them. They like it so much that they doing it too. And we started commenting on one another's videos, and now we are actually real life friends, which is so cool to say. Angie came out this year, visited me in my new city of Las Vegas, and I got to show her around to New York in, I don't know, May, June of this year, and you will see us a couple of times, at least minimum, a couple of times in 2023. I love Angie's videos so much. She is one of the hardest working YouTubers I know. She will talk to me and she'll be like, I filmed this video, now I'm gonna film this video, and then I'm gonna wipe my makeup off, and then I'm gonna film this video, and then I'm gonna edit 4 videos, and I'm like, I think that I do a lot, and then I talk to Angie and I'm like, did I do anything today? Or just eat popcorn and play with my dog? I am unsure. She's such a huge lover of beauty. She says that in all her intros. She loves everything about beauty, and you can see that radiate through her. So if for some reason you're unfamiliar with Angie's channel and you are a lover of makeup and beauty, and especially if you love color, she does the most amazing colorful looks. We did a video when she was here in Vegas where she did my makeup. It was blue, it was green, and just the different ways that she places eyeshadows and where she's putting the brushes, it's so different from my style and what I feel like are my capabilities when it comes to makeup. So to have someone so talented do my makeup was such a cool experience. So please make sure to check out Angie's channel. I'm sure that we will both have the questions listed out in our description box as well. If you want to do this video, please do it because it is so much fun. And also, like I said, welcome to Vlogmas. I always do Vlogmas. I've done it like 5 years in a row. So even though I've been kind of scaling back a little bit on YouTube and also doing some non-beauty videos, I am planning to do Vlogmas. You will get an upload from me every single day. If you're new here, if you're coming from Angie's channel, welcome. My name is Samantha. I do post beauty videos. I do book videos, as I'm also a published author of what will be my 9th novel, is coming out in December. And I like to talk a little bit just about lifestyle, my routines, morning routines, building good habits, and just staying inspired. I do also own a business called By Samantha March, where we carry products kind of based all along that, goal trackers, planners, decks of cards with healthy habits and gratitudes on them, sticky notes for your office. I love my brand so much. So if you are coming from Angie's channel, I hope that you will subscribe. But let's hop into question number 1. All right, so the first question is, what mainstream release lived up to the hype most this year? So again, we're looking back at the entire year of 2022 and talking through all of the new releases. So I do have different playlists on my channel, as I know Angie does. I have a whole Will I Buy It playlist. So I was going back through all of my old videos and being reminded what came out in January, what came out in February of this year. So I always love to do this tag because it's so fun to be able to look back. And mainstream release that lived up to the hype most this year, I actually pulled out 2 different eyeshadow palettes. One of them being the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2. I was really impressed with this palette, and I feel like there was a lot of buzz around this one because the first Major Dimension palette got so much hype, it got so many good reviews. When the second palette came out, I was like, I'm gonna buy this one too. And I really like the quality of both palettes. You get some cream shadows in here, which I think is really fun. The first one is more like a monochromatic brown, where this one we have some pinky tones and some mauves and rosy colors, which is right up my alley as well. And I just think this one is absolutely stunning. And another palette that was getting a lot of hype before it even released, the Huda Beauty Empowered. I ended up loving this palette. Definitely a favorite palette of mine throughout the year. And I don't know if you'll be able to tell with, I feel I'm very light-handed when it comes to my makeup. I also don't wear a lot of eyeshadow all at one time, but like this gold is like dug into. That shade is so beautiful. Bold moves, manifest it. You have some creams in here. I love that you get this black cream. I've used that for liners. The shimmers are beautiful. This palette impressed me so much, and it was getting a lot of buzz, again, even before it released. A lot of people were talking about it. A lot of people were hyping it up, and I absolutely love it. And then we have for the second question, what indie release lived up to the hype? And honestly, I do not review as much indie makeup as Angie does. She's, to me, like, she's like one of the indie makeup queens for sure. So I know that she will have such fantastic answers for this one, but I really have enjoyed Kaleidos makeup. They have come out with some really fantastic eyeshadow quads. This is just one that I grabbed for the video. This was in their last collection, Night of Creation, I believe it was called, and this is the Glowing Iris palette. I love me some purples, and this is like so stunning. You have mattes in here. We have this really beautiful shimmer. They also came out with another collection around, I want to say it was around springtime, and they have some beautiful, there was like a brown quad, and then also one with kind of more of those gray, like gray and black tones, which I think is really cool. But Kaleidos has really impressed me with their collections that they've come out with, and I like that it's not super overwhelming. You know, we're not getting big collections from them every single month, because when they do drop their new releases, they are really good quality. Question number 3 is, which releases did not live up to the hype? I just narrowed mine down to 2. I felt like I could have had more, but I narrowed mine down to 2. One of them being from Lancome, and I have it in my drawer right here, so I pulled it out. The Tinty Dole Ultra Wear Care and Glow Foundation. I'm super bummed that I didn't love this, because again, I feel like this was getting a lot of attention and buzz before it launched. The original Lancome Tinty Dole foundation was a favorite of mine for such a long, that was one of like my first holy grail foundations that I fell in love with. So when they were releasing this one, and it was supposed to be more of a glowy foundation, I have really dry skin, so I was like, this is gonna be so great for me. And I ended up not liking it at all. I didn't find it to be very glowy. I found it to really kind of age my skin whenever I wore it. It was quite thick and heavy, and I was super bummed about that. Another one that I'm gonna pull from my bronzer drawer right here. I was very sad that I ended up not loving this Haus Labs bronzer. This is the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. I thought the Haus Labs rebrand this year looked so much better than the original vision and concepts of Haus Labs by Lady Gaga. I loved that they moved into Sephora. They weren't just on Amazon anymore. I was really excited for a lot of their products, and the first one I went for was the bronzer, because I love bronzers. And it's just like, it's fine. It was a more expensive bronzer, you know, and it's not one that I reach for. I have my favorites. I have my ones that I go back to all the time, including like a $10 bronzer from L'Oreal, which I think is great. So I was super bummed, because it was the first product that I tried from the rebrand, and I was like, I don't know, it's just like not making me want to pick up more. Number 4 is, what was the biggest curveball of the year? And I know that I'm supposed to be thinking about makeup releases, but I was thinking about it. Honestly, what I wrote down on my list was the Oscar Mayer's baloney mask. Did anyone buy the baloney mask? You know, that I didn't see coming. I didn't see a face mask that literally looks like a piece of bologna that you put onto your face. I didn't see that one coming. That was a bit of a curveball for me. So that was the new release that I could think of. But when I just think back of the year 2022, this was the year that I really started to scale back on beauty. And that was a bit of a curveball for me. You know, I've been in the beauty space for such a long time. I started as a blogger in 2009 talking about a little bit of everything. I started my YouTube channel in 2015 as a book channel, and I rebranded in 2016 to beauty, and I've really focused pretty much solely, like very much niche down into beauty. And you know, we're coming off a pandemic, which I think changed things for a lot of people. I'm personally coming off of a divorce and a move, which obviously just kind of changes your whole life. So there was just a lot going on all at once, and I felt myself starting to kind of pull away from beauty a little bit, because I felt like there was so much more that I really not only wanted to focus on, but needed to focus on for my mental health, for my physical health. And so I started to kind of back away just a little bit and bring more other video topics onto my channel. My 6 a.m. morning routine, I have a video coming up on habit stacking and how to be a morning person, you know, how I changed my routine, book videos and holiday book releases. I think what the big curveball to me was when I finally started to be honest with my audience, and instead of just keep trying to push out as many beauty videos as I can and show you all the new makeup releases and even come on every single Wednesday to talk to you about new makeup releases, I started to be honest to say like, hey, this isn't what I'm loving anymore. And that's okay. I think there's like a fear of changing things and doing something different. Of course, there's always a fear with that. But it was kind of nerve-wracking because this is a career where people are judging you all of the time. People are constantly looking at you and thinking, I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't wear that, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't buy that, I wouldn't spend my money on this. And it can be really challenging at times. So it's definitely scary when you're like, hey everyone, I know we've only talked about makeup for such a long time, but now I want to talk about these other things. How are people going to react? And I think the curveball to me was hearing the feedback from others saying, a lot of you feel the same way. And a lot of people go back to, you know, things changed during the pandemic and I lost my job, or I really started to prioritize my health more, or I started to prioritize my family more. I started to prioritize putting my money towards making memories, because we had a time there where we were like, can we keep making memories? Will we ever have this opportunity again to go to a concert with our friends, or just have people over for a game night, or get together for Christmas? Like, we just didn't know if we would have that or not. And so to have so many people say to me that you are kind of feeling the same way too, that to me was the curveball, because I'm thinking so many people are going to be like disappointed and mad at me and not want to hear about these different things. And I think I was just surprised that a lot of people were really feeling what I was feeling. And it reminded me to continue to be my authentic self. And everyone changes and evolves and grows, and you know, a lot of us don't have the same job for our entire life, you know, anymore these days. There was definitely generations that was the norm, and that's not really the norm these days. We change, we grow, we decide we want to do something else, we decide we want to put our focus into something else. And it's really interesting because I definitely feel, from starting social media at 21, 22 years old to where I am now at 35, I've had such a core amount of my community grow with me and change with me and evolve with me, and that is really neat to see and makes me really appreciative of the community that I have over here. But besides the baloney mask, I would say the curveball would be not only me kind of pulling a little bit away from beauty, but hearing so many of you have those same thoughts as well. Number 5 is, what was the biggest letdown snooze fest of the year? Okay, so one thing that I put on my list was the ColourPop Limelight palette, and that was just a letdown for me because I remember just being so excited for this palette. It was one of those that I was waiting for it to come in PR, because I was like, I am getting this up right away. Like, I'm so excited about this. I'm swatching it. I'm getting a video up, and I ended up not really loving the palette. I do love green eyeshadow. Like, I love neutral all day long and super simple eye looks, but I also love me a fun green. And that eyeshadow palette, I mean, it's called Limelight. I'm sure I have a picture of it in here. I was just like, this is going to be my palette. I was getting so many tags on it, and just the greens were just like too similar to each other, and there wasn't enough depth in the palette. It just wasn't a home run like I was thinking it was going to be. And then kind of a snooze fest for me was the e.l.f. and Dunkin' Donuts collab. Again, I felt like this was super hyped up. The PR packages were so cute. There was a little donut sponge. I mean, they sent out Dunkin' Donut gift cards in our PR box, which my mom is here with me. If you can hear anything, I have my mom and my dog here, and we have a lot going on post Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But my mom was like, oh, did you know you have this Dunkin' Donuts gift card? And I was like, oh yeah, that came in that e.l.f. PR package. Huh. I actually have a gloss from the collection sitting in front of me, but the different eyeshadow palettes they came out with, I just didn't think they were good quality. And e.l.f. is one of my favorite brands. I have a product coming up from e.l.f. that I absolutely love, and I hope that you try it after I talk about it in this video. But the e.l.f. Dunkin' Donuts collection, just really, the quality did not seem there. The packaging was great, the marketing was great, all of that was great, but to me personally, it ended up being a bit of a snooze fest. Number 6, okay, so this is the next question. What was the unsung hero of 2022? Technically, I think this launched at the end of 2021, but my guess is Angie and I had already done this video, and I probably hadn't fallen in love with it because I've really fallen in love with this product in the past few months here. But I've talked about it, and I've talked about my love for e.l.f. primers. e.l.f. primers are sneaky good. Like their putty primer, I was kind of unsure about it at first. I've hit pan in my putty primer. I think that it's great. But the Power Grip primer from e.l.f. Cosmetics, if you haven't tried this, you need to. This is such a good gripping primer. I notice such a huge difference when I do my makeup with this primer. And at first I was just using it when it was like, hey, I'm gonna be out for a long time, I want my makeup to last. Now I'm like, hey, I'm gonna film a video and maybe like go out to you with my friends. Like I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Power Grip primer because it just makes that big of a difference in my skin, in holding on to my makeup, in holding on to my powder, in not letting my makeup like crease up. Even like the under eyes, like I will put the primer on and then I will take my pinkies and kind of do a little bit on the under eyes, and like not a lot. I'm not like putting it on a brush and like tapping it out there, like literally like from my face, just bringing it up a little bit in the pinkies and doing that, and it holds on to my makeup. This, the NARS, it's right in front of me because I used it today. The NARS Pot Concealer in Soft Matte. I've raved about this for so long. And then just a good setting powder, whether it be the Charlotte Tilbury, whether it be, I don't know, the Dior Powder, no powder, whatever you want to use. Even a loose setting powder, like today I used the Laura Mercier. And this is another one. I have heard so many people recommend these little powder puffs from Amazon. Like I keep seeing them popping up and I'm like, fine. And it's funny to me because especially with the Laura Mercier, I know this came with a powder puff, right? I've owned powder puffs, but I've always been like, no, I would prefer to use sponges, So I buy these. It's like $4 for 2 of them. And I really press my powder into here, and then I kind of like rub it together like this. And then I will really, sometimes I like press, I don't know what I was gonna do with this hand, like jump for joy, but I like kind of like press my makeup in like this, especially on my under eye area, because my under eyes have been really a source of bother for me for like 4 years now, okay? So I really like kind of press and roll the powder in, and then even if I'm breaking out, like today is day 1, okay? Like we are breaking out in a lot of areas. My forehead, my whole chin is broken out, everything. Like I feel like my makeup is looking pretty good. This is my 3rd video that I'm filming today. I've had two Zooms, 1 podcast interview. I've had my makeup on since 9 o'clock this morning and it is 5:03. Like, and I have not touched up. And I think my makeup is looking pretty good. Let me just do a quick touch up in case it's needed because I really didn't look in the mirror close enough. The technique, it's different from a sponge, but once I started using these and doing that technique and using my e.l.f. Power Grip primer, I'm like, this is a game changer. My makeup is staying on and staying on flawlessly. Not like it's just there, it's not just hanging on, flawlessly. It'll all be linked. But I do have one other unsung hero. You've probably heard me talk about it, the Glossier eyeliners. If you haven't tried the Glossier eyeliners, these are one of the best eyeliners that I have ever tried. Like look at my little black one. Like it's getting down there. My green one in Fresco is pretty much the same. I need to repurchase some more of these. I hear Glossier is supposed to be coming into Sephora in 2023. I'm gonna be I'm just gonna go in and buy all of the eyeliners when that happens because I'm gonna be pumped. The Glossier eyeliners are some of the best that I have used. They just glide on so easily. They don't tug. They don't then transfer into your eyes. You know, you put liner on your waterline and then all of a sudden it's in your eyeball and that's really uncomfortable. Super easy to tight line with, and they stay. And they stay and they stay and they stay. And when I use these, especially the black, it just, these, unsung hero, for sure. I feel like eyeliners don't really get mentioned a lot. So when I saw Angie added in unsung hero, my mind was like, Glossier eyeliners, check. Number 7 is what was the best holiday release of the year? Holiday, I feel like really killed it this year, truly. There was a lot that I really enjoyed, even from some of our mainstream brands that I kind of don't often love their holiday releases. Like Tarte had really good things come out. Benefit had some really nice like sets that were actually just looked good. Like they weren't boring to me this year. They weren't super repetitive. So I was impressed with that. But also Oden's Eye, I feel like Oden's Eye really nailed it with their holiday releases. They came out with 2 different palettes, beautiful, beautiful color stories. The Oden's Eye, I think, did I grab the other one too? The Oden's Eye eyeshadow formula, I think is super stunning. And again, just another indie brand that I don't think is like too much, too overwhelming. I feel like they do their collections and their launches really well. And their holiday collection very much impressed me. I know it sold out really quickly. I believe they did a restock and I think it sold out again. If it's still available, I will definitely link it. But very impressed with that. Sigma Beauty had a great holiday collection. I did a full video with them. They had an eyeshadow palette. They had so many different brush bundles. They had a beautiful purse that I thought was super cool. So Sigma, I just thought did a great job of like, again, not being super overwhelming, but having a little bit for everyone. Or you just want 3 brushes, here you go. You want a bigger brush set, okay. Or here's an eyeshadow palette. Their face duo, the Sigma face duo from the holiday collection, I've been living in that duo. That blush is beautiful. But also I wanted to shout out something that I thought was a little bit different, and this is from Lawless Beauty. This palette is their Winter Beach, and I just think that this is so fun, and I love that we have some blues and greens in here, is a little bit of cool tones. This is actually what I'm wearing today. I just have on a little bit of this matte brown and then the kind of bronzy shimmer. That's all I have on for my eye look. I did a really beautiful look in prior videos this week with the blues and the greens, and I have a tutorial on my Instagram. But I really like the Lawless eyeshadow palette. With the Lawless Holiday, they had this and then I think some of their glosses and also their lip mask, which is great. So I feel like not a super overwhelming collection, not anything, you know, too much. I think they did it really well, and I liked the direction that they took with their eyeshadow palette. At number 8 is what was the best collab of 2022. This always like freaks me out so much because I like want to mention one thing and then I like feel like I like want to mention like 87 others as well. I'll say I feel like Glamlight had some really interesting collaborations this year with like Frosted Flakes really caught my attention. I know they just did a strawberry shortcake. Their Barbie collection looked really cool. There's another one I'm missing in there. I think they did the Hershey Kiss in 2022 as well. Scooby-Doo is what I was thinking, their Scooby-Doo collaboration. I feel like Glamlight really nails their collaborations that they do. Like none of them feel phoned in. You know, there's some brands that they come out with the collabs and you're like, okay, like Glamlight is always like over the top, but in a way that still makes sense. And I think that's very cool. My friend Heather Austin did a collaboration with Adept Cosmetics this year and came out with a really beautiful eyeshadow palette. And Heather wears that palette all the time, and I just know when she's wearing it, and she just does such fantastic looks with it, and the quality in there is super cool. Like the shimmers are so fun. Sigma Beauty did a couple different collaborations with some of my friends this year. Kelly Gooch came out with a favorites bundle. Karen Harris just recently came out with a favorites bundle. So that is always so exciting to see. I'm really curious as to where 2023 will go with the collaborations. I feel like we had a lot there for a while, and then this year I feel like it wasn't quite as much, but I don't know, I think maybe for 2023, we'll see a lot going on as well. And I think there will also be, well, we can get to that. Well, should I say it now? Is it the next question? I know there's a makeup predictions, and maybe it's gonna be the next one. Yes, it is. Number 9, what are your predictions for releases during next year? I think, and maybe this is just me projecting or manifesting or whatever you wanna say, I think we'll also see like non-beauty collabs happening as well. I don't know, I just, something about that, something that I kind of have in my mind. I also am the worst at predictions. Angie's always really good at this. For me, I'm always like, I don't know, like how do people predict like fashion trends? Like, I don't know, that's definitely not me. Another thing that I wrote down that I kind of feel like for 2023 is like, almost like shock value. That's what I ended up writing down because I was trying to think of how I wanted to word this, but brands like doing the most and doing things more over the top. I feel like post-pandemic, it kind of calmed down a little bit. releases were really focused on like skincare and self-care and that sort of thing as we were going through that, and now we're kind of coming out of it. And I feel like it's almost going to be more of like a, what can we do that's crazy? What can we do that's attention nabbing? What can we do? And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I've actually, you know, we've kind of seen a little bit in the news, like some, not makeup brands, but some brands kind of doing things that seem very shock value and not in a good way. So I hope for the beauty industry and for the brands that I love, like I hope we're not doing anything like that, but I feel like pushing the limits is going to be coming back and trying to top other people and top yourself and top your collections. For some reason, that was the one that was kind of sticking out at me. So that's what I would say for my makeup predictions, but I'm gonna be really curious to hear Angie's, because she's oftentimes right also. So whatever she says, I'm gonna be looking for that in 2023. But of course, I would love to know your makeup predictions or any of your answers to these questions. Again, I will have these in the description box if you want to do this video, or please leave your comments of what your answers would be to some of these questions. Head over, check out Angie's video, subscribe to her as well, and I hope everyone is ready for Vlogmas. I know Angie is doing it also. Hope you're prepared for lots of content in the month of December. I hope you have a great month. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video.